ladies and gentlemen, Strat Gamer here, providing you with a very exciting episode today. Because if you're watching this episode close to the date where I'm publishing it, it means you are among the first people in the world to discover this brand new game, which is not even out yet. Settlement Survival, going out in early access on the 15th of October, but at the time where I'm recording the video, definitely not out yet. So thank you to the developers for providing me with a key to discover the full game in advance of its release. Very excited. And just to be clear, this is not a sponsored video. They just provided me the key, no strings attached, but I definitely want to share it with you and show you a couple of elements. We'll probably do a few videos and potentially also a stream quite soon on it. If you're interested to see that, please do tell me in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. The other element I wanted to mention right away is that while the early access will start on the 15th of October, this game will actually be also available in free demo during the next the festival on Steam starting on the 1st of October. So make sure you check that out too. You know, this is Settlement Survival. This is a city builder / survival game. Think in a mix between a lot of the recent games like Patron, Timberborn, of course, originally, you know, Banished, those type of games, but also with some twists. So that's what is a bit interesting. In particular, I think the graphics really, attracted me, not because they're the most amazing graphics you'll ever see. It's actually sort of the opposite, where they've chosen to go with low poly graphics, right? Which is, you can see those polygons shapes, which to me reminded me a lot of some of my, I wouldn't say early years games, but games that I have really great memories, like the Zelda games and things like this. And then, as I said, there's a couple of other elements that really attracted me when the developers shared. So that's why I'm sharing it. The first element, one of the first elements also that attracted me is their promising mods support. So that's always great to see. The settings, while the game is only in early access, there's already quite nice things. Like, for example, you can program your keys. That's always good to have that. There's quite a number of keys, of course. The game settings also in terms of, frame rate and quality and all those type of things. And the audio, the normal settings. So, I mean, that's, these days there are some games that come in early access without that. So, definitely, you want that as minimum. Then the other elements that interested me is when you go to new game, you can see already a number of modes, game modes, let's say, but also map seeds. Is a crazy number of map seeds, and I've tested a couple, and they are really completely different. That's not a lie. So obviously I don't know if this is exactly the total number or if it's just a random number, and there's way less than this, but definitely at least the few that I tested were completely different. So that's will provide us with a great sandbox experience where every new game will be different. You can also choose your map size, your difficulty, and something interesting is those last two. On the disasters, you can also put them off, so that let's say instead of going really in the direction of survival games, if you put them off, you're a bit more in the city building type of simulations, which to me also is something really attractive. Is you can have both, you can choose. And lastly, the special element we'll talk about it is sort of unique buildings that you can have, and once again you can put it on and off. So all of this interesting, but then when you see here, it's not just that, there's also, and some of them are not available yet, but the first one is, and these maps basically provide with challenges. Like for example, in this one, the trees grow slowly. So structures that grow trees are disabled. You know, and it's a sea island, and so land trade is disabled. So there's some of, you know, sort of, let's say, constrained or special scenarios. And if some of you are familiar with some of my Anno 1800 series, I mean, this is one thing that's actually missing in Anno, is you can't really create those scenarios. I had to create them a bit sort of fakely. For example, I did a series inspired from the French Revolution where I said you couldn't give luxury goods to the farmers and workers or those type of things. And here it seems that they're already going a bit in that direction, where, you know, you can have special effects with different scenarios. And I'm sure right now they're showing 4 different ones. I'm sure we may even have more in the future, including there is a story, right? So there's story mode in those elements. There is still the sandbox, and then the standard mode, which would be, it's not a tutorial because there's also tutorials here, but it's just your standard let's say campaign, where, you know, we're gonna have missions to go through, and not missions, but yeah, like small missions, small steps to help us develop. And if you look here, it's actually to get to the sandbox, you need to unlock all technologies in the standard mode. That shows you a bit the idea. So, you know, I hope you may be already excited about it. Don't hesitate to share in the comments below if you are. I'm, of course, will also put in the description below of this video, you know, the link to the Steam page, also the link to the recent press release from the game developers that shows you some of those details and plans. So don't hesitate to look at that. But here today in this first video, I just wanted to show you a quick part of the tutorial so you can start appreciating part of the game. We're not gonna do the basic one because the basic one is really focused on, as I say, people who haven't been exposed to such games. I'll definitely do a quick video on it later, but for this first video I'm gonna choose this one, the survival essentials, to show you. It's sort of the basics of the game, but this one is really basic. So this one will be good, I think, to show you some elements, but as you can see, it's not everything. Here, for example, after it, they start talking a bit more about the technology, trades, and other elements like this. So there's definitely a lot more than what we're gonna see today. And as you can see, you know, this is early, really, I mean, the early access hasn't even started. So there's small bugs here and there. Like here you can see the visual is not perfect. The fonts similarly are not perfect. Or a new game, if you go to the Easter Island, for example, here similarly, right, the UI for the text is not the right size. But it's really those. So far, I haven't seen any major bugs. I've only seen sort of, let's say, small UI, and I'm guessing also it could be really linked to translations and things like this rather than pure UI problems. But yeah, let's dive into this tutorial. Was actually quite quick to load, even on the big maps so far. So here it is. This is a game. You know, you can see those villagers, similar as I said before, like games like Banished or Patrons. You can of course turn around. Now you have your mouse to go up and down. The map, if you go to M to click on the map, I mean, this is a tutorial map, right? So it's not, definitely not that big, as you can see. If we go into a big map, I'm sure we are gonna have all of this available, and then that's definitely more interesting. So you can also, you know, follow people. I've seen that doesn't work perfectly, but still an interesting, as I said, and somewhat similar, of course, to Minecraft, but also all other games. You have, you know, they call it properties, but you know, a sort of characteristic of all of your people, right? Each citizen is individually simulated with their health, their food, all those type of elements. But at the same time, I feel this is a reasonable number. It's not a crazy amount of characteristic to follow, which sometimes in some of those survival game has been the problem for me. I was like, yeah, that's just too much. I feel this is sort of a good number of things to optimize, to follow. Similarly, you know, they can have clothes and shoes and tools, things like this, but it's not like a crazy amount. Of course, you can change names. So let's call that one Flight Gamer. And that doesn't fit. So maybe that's a small, and of course I'm also going to share back what I'm saying here with the developers, right? So hopefully they will also make some small changes based on that. Like I think this is just too short for a name. You know, nobody is gonna want a name with just how many is it, 6 characters. You can follow them, all of this. So right now nobody is walking, nobody has some people have a house, but some people don't. That's what you see here. 3 people are homeless. Also something I haven't liked in a few of the recent survival games is I felt like it was super hard to find where are the problems, versus here it's in red. You know, if I had 10 different problems, I would see 10 different icons with how many people have that problem. Like it could be 3 people are sick, 5 people are hungry, those type of things. And you just click on it and, you know, it will go through those people. So that to me is really great. You have all of the resources here. You can see there's quite a large number of resources. Small, you know, good ideas in terms of UI, like this is showing me water, but if I want, I can make it show me coffee instead. I can also hide those details. And so there's quite some depth here, as you can see, right? It's a number of different resources. Definitely interesting. Similar to all those games, you know, you have the resources on the map like stone, wood, that you'll be able to collect. Like, you know, if I go here, harvest tree, can harvest all those trees, can collect those stones if I want. But I quite like also the UI. I mean, it's simple. It's not the most beautiful you'll see, but at least it's clear. So, you know, it's all of this, and of course there's good shortcuts too. Like this is the first one, houses, the fields, I don't know what they call it, so resources, productions, storage, you know, the services, the roads, decorations or ornaments, blueprints. So these are some of the let's say special buildings. And just to be clear, these are not all of the buildings. We can unlock many more. In particular, if I press, I think it's T, yeah, T, this is the technology tree for agriculture. There's many more, right? And all of these will unlock new buildings, right? Like here, the jewelry, dock, and some of them also have several buildings in it, I've seen. So, you know, there's definitely way more buildings than the one you see here. And on top of that, many of those buildings are actually what I would call, multi-factories, like in recent DLC for Anno 1800, meaning, you know, I create some fields, for example, this is fields, right? But when they'll be built, it will ask me what type of fruit or vegetables I want to use on that field. So there's sort of many buildings hidden inside this one field building. So that's another, not complexity, I mean, yes, it brings complexity, but also interesting thing about the game. So yeah, I hope you, as I said before, I hope this is getting you excited. Don't hesitate to press the like button, share comments, also maybe put this game into your wish list. And otherwise, you know, let me go through a bit some of this tutorial. We need to they will guide us to keep our citizens alive, with if you still don't know the basic operation as such as rotating the buildings, things like this, they tell you to go to the previous tutorial, right? Because once again, this is the second tutorial. Just to show, as I was saying, this is a field. No, sorry, I'm clicking. Okay, this is a field. I can choose what to produce. Right now, I can only produce tomatoes, but once again, I can unlock many other seeds, from vegetable to fruits and all those type of things in the future. Can also choose how many people are going to work here. There's ways to improve the building. But there's some interesting complexity, but at the same time, it doesn't feel overwhelming to me. So that I think they found an interesting balance here. Citizens without housing recover physical strength slowly and work inefficiently. We definitely know that. So let's build a house. Well, you can rotate it. There's also different visuals with F. This is, the entrance. So if we put a road here, that would be fine. You need, of course, resources like timber, stone, iron for this house. You can decide if we pause it. Sorry about that. Or if we prioritize the construction of this building versus something else. Right now this is going nicely. We can also, of course, change the speed. Let's go to full speed. This is being constructed. Let me just put some tomatoes while we're at it. Okay, and the house is done. We can now move to the next step. People will die of thirst without water. So let's build a well, and we can use shortcut 3, as I said before. We can put the well maybe in the center here. It will also help with fires, right? So there's, of course, in many of those similar games, right, things like fire, crime, maintenance of buildings, right? They can what do you say, sort of not get destroyed, but get in a bad shape if you don't take care of them. Okay, so this is done. We can move to the next step. As I was saying, repairman is responsible for routine maintenance. So let's make that. It is shortcut, sorry. 6, repair shop, clinic if they're here. We're gonna look into some of these. Let's put it probably here if we rotate. Prioritize it. I do have quite a bit of resources right now, so it's all good on that side. You can see them walking here. Which one is the builder? I forgot. This is the marketplace. Here. This is the construction house where you have your builders. We're gonna put a 4th one. Oh, Stride Gamer actually went to work here. So now when I want to try to build a new building, it will be, there's more people working, so it will be quicker. We can gather food. Wild vegetable can be used as food. With the gathering station and those white plants, wild vegetables grow around full-grown trees. You can see some of them here, right? So this is number 3, gathering station. Maybe we'll put it here. I don't see that much, maybe there. Obviously you want it in the wood to have access to a lot of those fruits, but not too far because people need to walk back and forth between here and there. That's always a bit the challenges with those elements. Oh, you can see some fish here. So of course I haven't discovered everything in this game yet. Don't hesitate to ask questions. I'll do my best to answer. As you can see, some nice landscape, lakes, rivers, many other elements. Building, gonna prioritize it even more. My health is going down because I don't have a clinic probably. The map we looked at earlier, help, of course the menu if you want to change things like your settings. There will also be save and unsave and loading, right? See animals here. Okay, we're almost there. This is the, let's say, timeline, right? We are year 1, month 7. This is moving. You can see the seasons. We can see things like events. Of course, in this tutorial, there's not that many. Then there's going to be disasters and many other things. One citizen got injured, and as you can see now, I have this new problem, let's say, right problem, as I mentioned earlier. The hunter would hunt wherever he can go for food. So let's also make a hunter, maybe more on that side. Oh no, there was animal here. Let's do it here. Trying to make a city that resembles something. Like this. Right, let's click here. So as you can see, his strength is very low because his ankle was sprained. He's also slow to move. Interesting. We can see where his house is. In his house, we can see who else lives there, right? Usually you have the, I know it's a bit, let's say, traditional, but you have the father, the mother, a kid. You can get another kid. If the conditions are right, you can see if they have enough water, fuel, or winter in particular, fish, food, all those type of things. Where is, yeah, still building. Still have quite a bit of resources, so we're fine. We don't want us to be blocked by that in this tutorial. But yeah, that's hopefully you're starting to understand a bit the game. Of course, this is a tutorial, so it's taking some time. We're going slowly. I'm making one building at a time, right? If you are playing basically the real game, right, you would already slot many buildings and start doing many things. Here I'm just showing you some of the bases. We actually did that already, right? We put some fields here, and when you have fields, they will be sown in spring and harvest in autumn. And you have to be careful, of course, to harvest before winter. So that's classic. We did that, so we're good. There's also orchards for trees, but as you can see, they say it takes years for them to mature. So that's something else. And now we're in winter also. So the workers that will be going there, they are gonna get cold if they don't have nice clothes. See, oh, and if there's not enough fuel in the house, they're going to freeze to death. And for that, this is shortcut 3. We need a logging camp, to plant trees and chop down others. Maybe let's put it over here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do, sorry. Let me see, where should I put it? Over here. Gathering station is working here. I haven't chosen. I'm gonna have some piers. That looks nice. And you can see what it produces. Also some timber. Interesting. because it's gonna be trees, right? But if we cut them, we're gonna get timber, but then we won't get piers right away. So right, so there's also those trade-off. You can see some of the landscape too, like mountains. We can build tunnels under the mountains. Oh, one citizen is cold. That's not good. Here it is. Where did it go? Oh, I don't know where it was going. Stayed out during the night, probably doing some. Can see how many adults we have, how many students, childs, many workers are not really working, basically. This guy is still sick because we didn't build. Should we build a clinic for him? Let's build a clinic. It's not really in the tutorial. Fuel consumption keeps homes warm. Open processing to build a sawmill workshop and choose the recipe to process wood into living fuel. So we said 4 sawmill. Maybe let's make it close to the wood. And as you'll see, this is also one of those examples of what I call multi-factories, where you have recipes. Oh, we have one citizen without a house too. So they're making babies, basically. You can see we have 6 kids now instead of 4. Let me finish this one first because that's the mission. Yeah, if you're liking this video, also do tell me if you'll be interested in me doing a stream quickly. I'm potentially next week doing a stream showing you, a brand new map where we'd go through from start to trying to survive. I'd love to do that if a few of you are interested. Okay, this is coming along nicely. See that this one is closer to all the houses, so it gets actually done quicker. And this guy is going to get fixed in a sense. Close keep people who work outside warm, but we need a tailor's workshop. Tailor's workshop, let's do it. And that's, when is there someone, you can see, right, they can have a backpack, shoes, stone tools is their tools, clothes, and we're gonna see they can have very different ones. Can even choose for each of these citizens where they should be working. If you want certain citizens to work very close to their house, for example. So that's some really interesting complexity here. We forgot to make some fuel. We can make fuel out of timber or fuel out of dry animal dung. I don't think I have that yet. Total reserve 0, total reserve 300. So let's definitely take this one. Some interesting elements also I saw is, you can put limits. You can look at your productions numbers. So there's definitely some interesting min-maxing support here. This is still going on. Disease research. Cholera, measles. Okay, so this is done. We can choose close. You can see right now it's only row of close, or we haven't unlocked this. But once again, there's all the research to unlock new things. We can see, what do we have? We have this. So let's use that one. As I said just before, if you look on your people, they also have tools, and for that we need a blacksmith. Let's put it, I don't know where. I haven't really thought about efficient layouts and things like this yet, but I'm sure we'll get to that point. You can see some of my trees here starting to hopefully grow some stuff. But they did say several years, so who knows. And you can see I'm definitely not yet doing everything well, right? Those scores have gone down. The happiness is not amazing, so the fertility not perfect, but I think this is how full my houses are. But that seems, or maybe the empty space, like maybe I have 33% empty in the house. Okay, the blacksmith has been done. Once again, you know, this is multi-factory. Can do different elements. Let's do this one. If the citizens' happiness, that's what we are looking at here, and health are too low, they can easily cause widespread death. And I think they can also do things like crime, as you can see, yeah, lost the desire to procreate, those type of things. And we need a church, and this is number 6 in the services. So let's do that. So I mean, obviously, once again, this is just a tutorial, so we're discovering many of the buildings. If you play the game for real, you wouldn't be just building one at a time like this. But it hopefully gives you a good understanding of the depth of the game, right? With all of those buildings, what they bring to your population, the different, you know, level of complexity in each of the buildings. That's what really feels like I could spend some hours on these games. Oh, another one got injured. Just when the first one was not injured anymore. Or maybe it's the same guy. Well, oh no, that's Julius. I don't think it was. No, Julius is the doctor, sorry. Or did the doctor get... Yeah, it's the blacksmith who got hurt. Ankle sprain again. Wine can also improve happiness. That's for sure. For those of you who are new to my channel, I am French, so definitely wine is important. We need the distillery. Ferment potatoes into tequila, yes, definitely. But if we can do wine, that'd be great too. So you can see these are the, let's say, basic materials to build elements, but to build more complex buildings, we actually need sort of the improved versions of these. So if we go here to the wood, you know, the improved version is first the plank, for example. For the stones, there's many, like the late stones and the steel for the bricks and all those type of things. So there's definitely very more advanced, let's say, materials. But one element I do like, many games are doing that now, is sort of like clouds. Of course, you can see the season. This is end of winter, right? Like the snow. Or I don't know if the snow is disappearing, but you can see there's snow in winter for sure. Distillery is working. Clinic, we got it. And that's it. We've learned how to keep our citizens alive. The advanced tutorial, the next one, will guide you how to develop technology and trade. So it is, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is it for this first episode. I wanted to, first of all, introduce the game to you, as you may be interested in making sure you put it in your wish list, you check the demo as soon as possible, and also maybe you tell me in the comments below if you want me to cover more, be it the other tutorials a new map completely on stream or on video on demand, just tell me. I'd love to hear your thoughts, good or bad. Also, if you have comments for the developers, I'm sure they're going to check out the comments on the video, so don't hesitate to share your comments to them too. And yeah, hope to see you next time.